Alright, welcome to my review of Highlander, The Source. It's a Sci-Fi Channel original movie, and it ended a few minutes ago it started at 9 o'clock on Saturday the 15th. It's gonna come out on DVD soon from what I've heard. And I can tell you, don't buy it. It's a horrible, horrible movie. Do not buy it. Do not let your friends buy it. If your friends buy it, you are a horrible friend for letting them buy it. It is a terrible movie. Like, just how bad is it? I sat through it. I mean, first off, it's kind of good that I sat through it. I mean, it entertained me enough. But, boy, is it terrible. It's about Duncan MacLeod, who was from the Highlander TV shows I never watched. Just to give you some background, I watched Highlander over the summer. I thought it was a really awesome movie. In fact, Highlander is one of my personal favorite movies just because of the Queen soundtrack, and it's got that B-movie like flavor to it that just works perfectly. In Highlander The Source, not so much. I mean, first off, all the text, like overlays, looks like they were done in Windows Movie Maker. It's got like kind of this stylized font, but there's no cool logo. There's no like anything. I probably could do that in Windows Movie Maker. Now, the essence of Highlander are great sword fights. There is some really great like fighting, because the entire series are about like immortals duking it out with their swords. This movie, not so much. I don't know who the director is of this movie because they flashed the credits so fast, probably because they were ashamed of themselves. But whoever decided that what Highlander really needed was a bunch of crappy Matrix special effects, should burn in hell, because that was a terrible idea. It was so like shoddy in its execution. The special effects, alright, I'm gonna cut them a little slack on the special effects because they obviously had no money to hire decent actors. I mean, I think Adrian Paul, I think he played Duncan MacLeod. He seemed okay, but he's not Christopher Lambert. And then again, I haven't seen the TV show. He could be really good in the TV show. But the special effects were pretty bad, and like it's filmed with like those high definition digital cameras. It felt like that. And one of the problems is that that caused all the actors to look like they were superimposed on blue screens, because they seemed in much higher quality than the backgrounds. That was very distracting for me in the movie. But the fight scene special effects, okay, you know how in V for Vendetta, there's that one final fight scene where V like kind of slashes all those guys in the subway? It's kind of like that scene, except with horrible special effects. And it was bad. It was terrible. Like, some of the scenes I couldn't even tell what was going on. They were so poorly edited. And going back to the bad backgrounds, like when I was watching the opening 15 minutes, it felt like I was watching a Sega CD FMV game, because the actors literally looked like they were performing in front of computer-generated backdrops. That's how bad some of the special effects were. Really, my other problems were complete heresy with the Highlander universe. Like, they set it in the near future, which another Highlander movie took place in the near future, and it was called The Quickening. And from what I have The Quickening here on VHS. Max lent it to me. But The Quickening, from what I've heard, is a piece of shit. So don't do that. There were no flashbacks. From like what I've heard, Highlander is an incredibly flashback-filled series. And really, when you have people that are living for 400, at least 400 years, you could have a flashback to some of their exciting adventures. Like in Highlander, they keep having flashbacks to Scotland. They have a flashback to the American Revolution, a World War II flashback in the director's cut. And it was really cool, but there's only one flashback to the Stone Age, and even then in the Stone Age, they've got Scottish, broadswords, and they fight a ninja in the Stone Age. That's always cool. What else was wrong? Oh, the immortals die from flesh wounds. Now, the big thing about Highlander is you die when you get your head cut off. No, this one of the immortals dies from flesh wounds because the weak story is that a bunch of immortals have banded together to find the source, which is this the holy grail. But as they get closer to the source, they become not immortal. Until when you get the source, you become a super immortal, but only if you're pure of heart. And also, the end of the movie, first they think you're retarded by recapping the entire movie in the last 3 minutes. And then when you finally find out what the source is, it's such a big fucking disappointment that you think you've it's basically you wasted the last 2 hours of your life. Because it was so disappointing. And really, all I can tell you is do not watch this movie. I want to keep this short. So I'll just repeat what I said at the beginning. Don't watch this movie. Don't let your friends watch this movie. Don't let your friends buy this movie. Don't let your enemies watch this movie. It is that bad. Stay away from Highlander, the source. D-. D- because it entertained me a little bit, and I cannot fail a movie if it entertains me in some way. D-. Piss poor. Alright.
What, y'all? What are you talking to?
Talking to your mother.
Fuck. Bye, Mom.
She's asleep.